Hi, today we're going to talk about modes within major scale. What you want to do right now is you want to go and grab the paper that says the modes of the C major scale. So go ahead and grab that, pause the tutorial, grab your music paper, and then come on back and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so you got your music paper. Basically, in this example, it's modes of the C major scale. Now, what we're going to talk about here applies the concept, the same idea applies for every single scale, every single major scale. Okay, in this example, we're talking about the C major scale, no sharps or flats, really easy to understand. And what it is, it's basically scales within a scale. The first, we're going to go through, this is the C major scale, so it's a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the first note of the scale is called an Ionian, okay? And if you build the scale upon that, so in other words, another name for the C major scale is an Ionian scale, okay? The next note is the start of another scale, which is called a mode. A mode goes from the letter to the next letter. So it would go from D to D. So it would go D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And D to D is a mode that's called the Dorian mode. In every major scale, you have these scales within the scale. Next note, which would be the start of the next scale, would be a Phrygian. Next would be a Lydian. Next would be a Mixolydian. Next would be a Aeolian, and then a Locrian. And once again, you get the Ionian over here because that's a C, that's a C. Okay. Now if you look on your paper, follow along in your paper, you can see the notes of the scale. For instance, the Dorian mode is basically D to D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. D to D. Next would be a Phrygian, and that would be from E to E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And those are the scales within the scale. But they're not called scales within a scale. They're called modes. These are modes, okay? But basic idea is that they're scales within a scale. So if you want to look it up and do a little bit more personal research, that's fine. I'm not going to go into this in depth. I'm going to touch on it a little bit in the course, but one thing really good about this course is that the course encompasses, it includes all of these modes in the way that it's taught. So when you start learning about the grid and how to use the grid, all of these modes are covered in there. And so that's why I don't really talk about it. It's done in a different way. But if you want to learn more about the modes, you can check it out on the internet, or you can go to the music store, or I would go to your library, go to the music section, look up modes within a major scale, and it'll give you more information about the concept of modes that fall into your major scales. Once again, this concept applies for every major scale, and if you want more information, you're gonna have to do a little more personal study. And like I said, all of this is included in our course in the way that when you start to study the grid, it just includes all these modes. Once again, the modes are like scales within a scale. It's not called scales, but it's called modes. These modes are scales within a scale. Okay? With that being said, if you want to find out more information about it, do a little bit more personal research on it, looking up modes within a major scale. Okay, so when you are ready to move on to the next lesson, we shall see you there.